Big Tony from Oakland was strapped in restraints to an obstetrics table in a black soundproof room. Big Tony was blindfolded and had a ball gag in his mouth. This was his once-a-month ritual. It kept his mind straight for his normal activities in Oakland. The other occupant in the room was dressed in skin-tight black leather and dangerous stiletto heels and was noisily stropping a straight razor. Her name was Emma. She ran the place. Tony paid top dollar for the privilege. There were other facets to this business relationship as well. Tony was dependent on her other services outside the bordello. He paid more for them. The house was an ordinary luxury home on a street full of similar luxury homes. The only thing that differentiated it from the others was a larger garage. This kept the clients' cars from being seen from the street. The clients entered from the garage. It was run using the same system used in beauty parlors. The sex workers rented rooms just like the chair rental at a beauty parlor. Some of the workers doubled up on rooms, and they did teamwork with the clients sometimes. There were 2 men in the group of sex workers to provide full-service sex work. All were intensively trained in the arts of pleasure. Emma ran a school for it. Emma's trainees were actively sought by other bordellos worldwide. Emma gave full benefits to her workers, medical, profit sharing, and pensions. These things were necessary for her other endeavors. Outside of Columbus, Ohio, a Brinks armored car rolled down I-70 heading west towards Cincinnati. It ran that route twice a day on a schedule. It was on its way to the Federal Reserve Bank in Cincinnati with a full load of cash from merchants in Chicago and Detroit. At Fort Knox, Kentucky, authorities were trying to account for a missing heavy-lift helicopter and a big generator. A scrapyard in Tennessee was trying to account for a missing magnet. 2 Gulf War veterans were flying the helicopter north from Kentucky heading for a deserted stretch of I-70. A third man was in the cargo bay tending a big diesel generator and a 50-ton electric winch. 2 men and a minivan were waiting at a deserted airstrip in Indiana, south of Terre Haute. They had rakes and a demo saw. In Pittsburgh, 2 TD Bank employees set up 2 shell accounts. Emma finished her work with Big Tony. Tony had a couple of bruises on his torso and an empty prostate. He felt good. He went back home to his wife and kids in Oakland. Money was deposited into the house account by direct transfer. Emma changed into her upstairs clothes and went back to the front desk where she greeted clients when they showed up and made sure they knew the rules. She ran a tight ship. The clients were half afraid of her, but the workers were eager to please and the house was discreet, so it was always busy. Damien lounged on the sofa in the lobby listening to Compton Gangsta rap on headphones. He was waiting for a client. He was wearing a white tank top and skin-tight white 501s and Nikes. He was tall, athletic, and very black. He had a fine arts degree from University of California at Berkeley and was a licensed masseuse. The bulge in his right pant leg reached almost to his knee. His clientele was both men and women. He did most of his work with his hands and tongue. He was always busy. He drove a late model Jaguar with a killer custom sound system. He paid cash for it. It replaced a late model Cadillac. He had a Tesla on order. The buttons on his 501s were usually undisturbed. Only 2 of his clients used the bulge in his pants. One was male and the other was female. Both were regulars. Emma liked looking at him. He didn't mind the attention. A beige Toyota Camry with New Jersey plates, registered to Enterprise Car Rental, sat in a field access road on a Monsanto soybean farm, south of Odell, Indiana. The key fob was carefully placed on top of the right front wheel. It had been there for 3 days. In the trunk was clothing for 3 men and $30,000 in cash. It was rented to a shell company in Chicago. Everything was ready.